Olivia, sex offenders who target children are considered to be, of course, high risk.
But NBC4's lead investigative reporter Dwayne Pullman discovered most of these predators are avoiding prison time.
This is Zachary Kahn. 5 years ago, he posed as an 18-year-old girl on Facebook, sending naked pictures to young boys to convince them to send him nude photos. He was busted and charged with 10 felony counts of pandering nude images. He pleaded guilty to 2 felonies that carried a prison sentence of up to 16 years. But Kahn, like most child sex offenders I uncovered, never went to prison. He caught a break, not from the prosecutor, but from the judge.
I could have went either way with this guy.
Judge Michael Holbrook could have sent Zachary Kahn to prison for years. Instead, he placed him on probation here at the same home where he committed his crimes against children.
Do you think you picked the right thing with this individual?
At the time, I would say yes.
At the time, Judge Holbrook says, Kahn received a very low score on a Department of Corrections pre-sentence report.
It's probably one of the lowest scores I've seen.
What that told you was what?
He was low risk to reoffend.
So Judge Holbrook placed Kahn on the highest level of probation with the condition that Kahn could no longer own a smartphone, tablet, or any other type of computer, and that he served time in jail over the Christmas holiday.
I thought in that situation it was better to take the control under my ropes.
But you could have given him.
I could have given him 16 years, okay? But what would I have at that point in time?
No, if I was a judge, he wouldn't have been on probation. He'd been in prison.
Others, including State Senator Jim Hughes, who's a former prosecutor, disagree with Judge Holbrook's decision.
I think prison's the only place to protect the public.
But Kahn avoided prison and returned to the public on probation. And Kahn is far from alone. I requested and received a comprehensive list of hundreds of pedophiles from ICAC, Internet Crimes Against Children, a local, state, and federal task force based in Franklin County that investigates child exploitation and pornography. The list includes every child sex offender busted by ICAC from 2009 to 2015 who pleaded guilty to or was found guilty of sex crimes against children. What I found...
Are you surprised to see this?
Stunned. Just about everyone I showed it to.
I'm surprised and I'm distraught.
Of the 333 child sex offenders tracked by ICAC, only 103 of them were sentenced to prison. 229 child sex offenders got community correction or probation. That's 69%, or nearly 7 of every 10 child sex offenders who went before the court only to walk away without time behind bars.
That's unbelievable, and I think that's a travesty on the families of this state. It really is.
Unlike Kahn, who pleaded guilty to higher-level felonies, most of the others were convicted of lower-level felonies, which in Ohio typically bring probation, not prison. And that is upsetting to just about everyone, from law enforcement...
I could tell you that our ICAC unit are disappointed.
...to lawmakers.
That concerns me as a legislator, as a parent, just as a citizen. What are we doing letting these people out?
I don't regret what I do. I have a problem I have to deal with now.
That problem the judge now has to deal with came as a direct result of my NBC4 investigation. Why my investigation landed Zachary Kahn back in court and behind bars as Preditors Avoiding Prison continues tonight on NBC4 at 11. I'll see you then.
An NBC4 investigation uncovers a list that shows most child sex offenders here in Central Ohio avoid prison.
NBC4's lead investigative reporter Dwayne Pullman, he focused on one sex offender, and as a result, that offender was arrested.
My investigation proves most child sex offenders are avoiding prison. But when I zeroed in on one case, the offender at the center was busted and sent back behind bars.
We put together pretty good, strong cases.
But in the case of Zachary Kahn, a strong case was not good enough to send him to prison. 3 years ago, Kahn admitted in court to 2 second-degree felonies for posing as a teenage girl and convincing young boys on Facebook to send him nude pictures. He faced a maximum 16 years in prison, but he caught a break.
I could have went either way with this guy.
The way Judge Michael Holbrook went was to place Kahn on intensive probation. The judge telling me he did that because Ohio's Department of Corrections determined Kahn was a low risk to reoffend.
Do you think you picked the right thing with this individual?
At the time, I would say yes.
But as you're about to see, placing Kahn on probation did not work out. Kahn's case is far from unusual. I uncovered a comprehensive list from ICAC, Internet Crimes Against Children, a local, state, and federal task force based in Franklin County that catches pedophiles. Of the 333 child sex offenders who were found guilty, only 103 of them were actually sent to prison. 229 child sex offenders got community correction or probation. That's 69%, or nearly 7 of 10 who were not sent to prison. The number stunned law enforcers.
Of course, it's disappointing for us on this side.
And lawmakers.
What are we doing letting these people out?
Zachary Kahn was out until I showed up. After repeated trips to try and talk to him at the home where he lived, I could never get Kahn to answer the door or call me back. I finally caught up with Kahn back in court, facing Judge Holbrook, just days after I called the judge about Kahn's case.
As a result, one, if you calling me and I had him searched.
Zachary Kahn was arrested for violating his probation.
It was a very fruitful search for bad things.
He had a smartphone and iPad, both prohibited under his probation.
He faces 16 years, and I am not particularly happy with the young man right now. I never sentence when I'm angry.
I'll tell you what happens with the Zachary Kahn case as state lawmakers try to close the gap of predators avoiding prison. I'm Dwayne Pullman, NBC4.
Now, the bill that Dwayne was talking about would make sentences mandatory for many of these child sex offenders.
Yeah, but that bill, time is running out. It's still stuck in a Senate committee. Dwayne is going to keep on top of that, too. But it really is eye-opening when you look at only a third of the offenders actually
That's a
get
lot
prison
of people.
times.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it has something to do with prison overcrowding as well.
It could be.
Yeah.
There's several issues involved in this.